Good morning. Today is Thursday, July 24th, and we are at Scripture Rocks Heritage Park near Brookville, Pennsylvania. This is on Route 28, right near the Interstate. I don't know if you squint up there, you might be able to see the overpass over Route 28. I was here on other business, so I'm going to show you this place. We'll take a look around. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of history here. So let me get some stuff out of the car, and then we'll be on our way back that path. All right, I had some people ahead of me, so I wanted to give them a bit of a head start so they don't hear me talking to myself and thinking I'm nuts. So anyhow, this is Scripture Rocks Heritage Park, and right here gives you a brief overview of the place, but I will read this part to you, hopefully not stuttering and stammering too much. Douglas Monroe Stahlman. Stahlman was born on August 17, 1861 on a farm near Kirkman in Warsaw Township, Jefferson County, Pennsylvania. He was the fifth child out of 10 brothers and sisters. He attended Erie Commercial School and became a school teacher, teaching for a time at the Clear Creek School near Sigel. He also worked for a time as a book agent, meeting his wife, Marion also Brooke, whom he married in Dyer County, Tennessee on November 4th, 1897. The newly married Stahlmans moved to Valspario, Indiana, where Douglas began attending classes at the Northern Indiana Normal School. Their first son, Glenn Davis, was born on September 26, 1898. In February 1901, Douglas became entangled in a national headline-making scandal that revolved around the religious faith healing movement of John Alexander Dowie. Applying the Dowie's belief to his ailing wife, he prevented her care by a physician, and she died from blood poisoning after giving birth to her second son, James M. Douglas. This is confusing. After giving birth to her second son, James M. Douglas was then incarcerated and confirmed and declared insane. There should be another comma in there. During the trial, his children were removed to his wife's family, thus beginning a lifelong quest by him for their return. Early in 1907, Douglas returned to Brookville permanently. Shortly afterward, he began preying upon what would become Altar Rock and began his public outdoor sermons and rock dedications. In fall 1911, he began engraving them while recording his thoughts and ideas in a series of journals. Not surprisingly, Douglas Stahlman's role within the community and his unusual behavior generated both support and disdain for his cause. His legacy today continues to involve intrigue, speculation, and continues to invoke intrigue, speculation, and discussion. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, so here we head back this path, and you can get walking tour books, but I don't think that's necessary. This is quite the interesting place. I'm glad I could bring you here today. I'm glad other business brought me over here. Okay, I was here with the Boy Scout troop shortly after they opened this, and my understanding of how this came to be was this was all just an overgrown mess, and the rocks were all covered with, overgrowth and stuff like that. And I believe this began as a Boy Scout Eagle project, and then Brookville County Historical Society became involved, and that's how all this came to fruition. So yeah, it's a beautiful place. The terrain around here, it's not too wicked. I mean, I wouldn't bring anybody here that maybe has a hard time walking or elderly. But if you take your time, yeah, you might be all right. But it does go through some rolling hills a little bit. But you're not far from the road. I don't know if you can hear the road noise or not. I don't really think there's any good path to make sure you see everything. But yeah, you just got to kind of meander around and be sure to stop and read all these placards. And of course, don't deface anything. That goes without saying. But some people are pretty not too bright. Here we go. Jonathan Brandon. Started this thing quite a while ago, 1997. Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, we've arrived at our first real rock carving that's really legible, and even them are getting a little weather worn, but just the same. They're also a little hard to read right now because they're moss covered, but this one, let's see how much I can read it. Okay, I can hardly make out any of that. But back here, what do we have? It's hard to read these and film at the same time. They're most of them are pretty legible, but it's a little rough, you know. Maybe that's just more reason for you to come here, to challenge yourself to how many of these things you can actually read. But most of them, given their age, which is, you know, pushing 125 years old, still pretty cool. All right, here's this rock right here. It's hard to read, of course, but it has this full placard here that tells you exactly what it says. Key to the chart. The circle represents the full Bible standard. The lines enclosing the different letters represent CCC, limits of Catholicism, LLL, limits of Lutheranism, MMM, limits of Methodism, PPP, limits of Presbyterianism, and CLMP, truth held by all four. This is only the second time I've ever been here, but you know, you see each one of those are numbered and have the placard that tell you what's on them. But I imagine if you paid for that interpretive book or program up there, it would be a little more in depth as to what each one says. Okay, yeah, well, there's a very brief look at Scripture Rocks Memorial Park near Brookville, Pennsylvania. I didn't want to reveal too much of the place, or it won't give you any reason to come here yourself. But I think probably the best time to come here would probably be in spring, like, I don't know, March, April, May, before the rocks get too mossed over. Might be a little easier to read, but you know, that's part of the challenge, seeing how much of those you can make out. And I mean, they have weathered over the years. But please, if you come, be respectful of the carvings and be respectful of the property. It was a very solemn place to somebody. So, okay, I'm gonna head on home, mow some grass, and baby, it's getting hot outside. All right, until next time, we'll see ya.